Hey guys, it's Primal Design. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this geometric backdrop on the end screen of all my videos. Okay, this is a really easy backdrop to do, guys. Almost any of you can do it. So we're going to start on a new layer here, and we're going to grab the rectangle tool. And we're going to start by making a line with all these bends in it it'll be used for later, but it's good to do this now just to get a little head start. Fill it with whatever color you want, it doesn't really matter at the moment. Take your stroke off, and what we're gonna do here is you're gonna create a line going up or sideways, but I recommend up just because it'll be easier for you guys following the tutorial if you're just following what I'm doing. So we're just gonna go up, and we're gonna duplicate it. Hit Control J is to duplicate your layer, and then we're just gonna turn it at a 45-degree angle and line it up with the other rectangle. Copy it again. Oh, don't want to do that. And rotate it again and make it go up. So we got this line here. Just gonna fix up here. It's important that you get these corners to be properly lined up, or it's gonna look off on the finished result. There we go. So now what we can do is we can just grab a folder and put all these shapes into there. Save that for later. Now what we're gonna do is we have this one line here, and now we can get our rectangle tool again and just create more rectangles going on the side. Actually, there might be a faster way of doing this. What we're going to do is we're going to go with our lasso tool, the polygon one, and you're going to hold shift. You're just going to go down and create almost these trapezoid like shapes or rhombus shapes, whatever. And then you're going to get a new layer and fill it like with preferably the same color. I just made the mistake there and made it black. There we go. You can do whatever shapes you want. You don't have to do rhombuses, squares, triangles, whatever. You can do whatever shape you want. Just try and fill most of it as you can. You can put all of these little individual triangles on the same layer. You don't need to make a new layer for each one. So I'll get back to you guys when I'm finished. Alright, when you get to something like this is where you can stop for a second and go back to our original line here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to hit Control J on that folder to create a duplicate, and now you're just going to turn it around. Maybe we go like this, and then I'm going to flip it the other way, like so. And now you can just put it wherever you want, doesn't really matter. Might mess around with the position as well, just to change it up a little bit, make it look different. You can line it up in wherever you want. Just make sure that one end goes all the way to the top, or you can leave it there. It's honestly up to you, but personally, just for simplicity, to make this easier for you guys, you just might want to bring it all the way. So I'm just going to create another one and line it up with that. There we go. And you're basically going to copy this sort of triangular rhombus-like pattern all the way through until you go all the way to the back and to the front. Sorry. thing that's very important is to leave a space here on the left side, and try and make sure that all your lines here and your shapes are moving towards the right. It's very important to create the proper symmetry that we're going to want for this backdrop. So now what you can do is you can create another folder and just move everything inside there. So now what we can do is I'm gonna zoom out here and I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit. Actually, forget that, we're not gonna shrink that down. What we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate this group, hide the one underneath, and merge this group. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our rectangle tool and we're just gonna Control C, Control V, create a new layer with it, hide the one underneath, and here we are. What we can do now is we can move this all the way to the right until we get it to the point where we feel like it's somewhat in the middle. Doesn't be exactly, because we need there to be a gap here in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is, I know that you may have ended up wasting some of this in the back, but it's okay. You can even go this way if you want. Actually, let's be a little adventurous. I'm gonna go at it from this direction, and actually I might flip it this way, like so. Make it a little different. So I'm gonna put it about here. It's not exactly in the middle, but it's close enough. Now I'm gonna hit Control J, hide the one underneath. Sorry, not Control J, we don't want to do that. Just so we don't get all of this in the back, we just want to again go with the rectangle tool, Control C, Control V to create another one, hide the one underneath. Now we have this. Now what we can do is I'm actually going to bring this all the way to the back, like so. Hit Control J, and edit, transform, flip horizontal, so they're mirroring each other. Then take that new layer and put it over here as well. What I actually might do is, just because I feel like there's too much of a gap in the middle, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna redo that, I think. This is the tedious part that I haven't been able to figure out quite yet, is how far away it needs to be. Maybe there. But I don't like how that's poking out, so maybe that's too much. About right there should be good. Now we can go with our rectangle tool, copy, paste, transform horizontal like we did before, and move it all the way to the side. There, that gap looks a little better. The gap is there just to divide it up in the middle, because it does, with some of our designs, look a little odd connected like that. Actually, doesn't look that bad with this one, but with some it will look a little odd. So I'm gonna leave a gap in the middle just because I want to. You don't have to, but I'm going to. Then you're gonna create another folder and move those two in here. And then we're gonna hit Control J on that group, and then we're going to merge it and hide the one underneath. What we can do just to get rid of all these hidden layers is create another folder. Sorry about all the folders, and move these into there. There we go. Now our layers are a little more cleaned up. So this is where we can start to actually make our design look proper and interesting. So now what we can do is this is where your creativity and your ideas start to take place more, because messing around with the colors is very tedious and not difficult, but complicated. It's more of a personal opinion on what you like instead of what I'm doing. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make this one blue. So with this color layer, I'm actually gonna make this one, I'm gonna make it black and blue, or like some dark gray and blue. So I'm gonna make this one almost black. The one underneath, I'm actually gonna move it up top, so it's over top of them. The one underneath is to get those colors. What we want to do is we want to enlarge, or you want to shrink. You can do either or. I think I'm going to shrink it down. And you're just going to hit OK. Then you're going to hold Control and click on the background layer, and you're going to center it. So since we've created smaller, some of the color pokes out and gets a little less clear in the middle. Actually, I think I might make it larger. I think larger might work a little better. Like so. Okay. We're also going to need a background color because we don't want it to just be solid white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably, yeah, go black. Black would be good. Then just fill in a background color like so. Actually, I'm going to make it a very dark blue. There we go. Then with this, I'm going to change this to a darker blue as well. Maybe just saturate a little bit. There we go. That's looking nice. Now what we can do is I'm going to go to blending options, change this red to the blue that I want. That's looking good. And now you can keep adding more colors, but I personally am going to do something a little different. So with this layer, I'm going to do the sort of half-tone print that you could see in some of the parts of the backdrop that I showed at the beginning of the video. It's got those little dots and stuff to make it stand out a little more. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a color overlay, make it black. Well, actually, we're not going to make it quite black. We're going to make it somewhat dark gray color. Like that would be good. Just want to make sure I'm not taking out my blue color. I'm not. Okay, then we're going to rasterize that. You're going to go up to Filter. You're going to go to Pixelate and Color Halftone. You want to set all these channels to 0 because we just want it to be black and white. We don't want it to have any color in it. And then the max radius will decide the size of the dots. I think I might leave it at 8. I think 8 should be a good size. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger, or maybe I'll darken this. I think I'm going to darken this gray a little bit. About right there. That should be good. There we go. I think that's nice. Now what we can do is we can again shrink and enlarge this. I'm going to shrink this one. And I'm going to center it. Now what we're going to do is, just because we want the dots, we don't want the black in the background, we can just hit screen. Oh, that's the wrong one. Which one is it? Lighten. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember which one it is. No, I think it is screen actually. Or no, is it lighten? No, I can't really tell with the background. It's a little dark. Okay, it is lighten. So lighten's the one we want. And so I'm gonna again center this to where I want it to be. Just gotta hit my layers. There we go. And I'm actually gonna bring this in front on top. I'm gonna shrink it down some more actually. I hit the wrong layer. Maybe actually I should enlarge it if it's going on top. Throw it in the back. Actually, I'm gonna throw it in the back maybe. Nah, I'm gonna enlarge it. See, this is the part where it pretty much matters to you what you think looks good. There we go. That looks good. So now what we can do is I'm gonna add a few more shapes and colors. I think I'll add another shade of gray and another shade of blue. I'm gonna make this gray a little lighter, a little more bluer actually as well. Like so. Slide it under. enlarge it a little more. Actually, I'm going to enlarge this one quite a bit more just to hide some of the background because we don't want that darkness to stand out too much. Instead of centering it, I might just move it up a little bit like that, just so I can get some more of that color to pop. And then I'm going to add one more shade of blue. I'm going to make it less, make it a little whiter actually. Make this one much bigger. And center it. And I'm probably going to move it under like that. That looks good. So now you could call this finished, but we want to spice it up a little bit. We don't want all this flat color. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to rasterize all these layers just so I don't mess around with them in the blending options. So we have our colors here, but what I'm going to do is the dark color that's on top is probably the one that you want to have stand out a little more. So what I'm going to do is I have all these layer styles which I'm going to show you how to make here very quickly. So we'll do this one right here. This is a good one. So we're going to go with an inner glow. You guys can just pause the video and copy this down. I don't need to go over any of it too much. So that's the inner glow. That is the satin. Here's the gradient overlay, but the gradient overlay will change depending on your color. So you just click here. I'm going to make this the dark blue color that I had before. So I'm going to start with this going down here. I have this color. Do the same thing. Just lighten it up a little bit. Not quite there. There we go, that looks good. Your inner glow can also change color. It doesn't have to be white. You can make it whatever you want. I'm gonna go with sort of this, oh, not red, sort of this turquoisey color. There we go. Keep going through there, and then your drop shadow. Your drop shadow it really depends on what layer it's over top of, because for some it will, see if I do that, then it covers up basically everything. So having it smaller on this top layer, or not even having it at all, might be the best idea. So I'm personally going to get rid of the drop shadow on this layer. And so that's the most important layer, that top one. And then with all these other ones, you can go about with whatever, except for this dot one. This dot one you can't change or see. I'll show you actually. What it'll do is if I do anything really with satin drop shadow, you can't really see it that well. Well, you can see a little bit, but you see it doesn't go around the dots. It goes around the original shape that was there. So you can't really mess around with the halftones. So we're just going to leave it the way it is. With your color, you might want some glow on it, just to make it stand out a little more. So I am going to add just a little bit of glow. Just a tad. Nothing too crazy. Actually, it doesn't even really show up that well because of how bright the color is. So I'm actually going to leave that. I'll do an inner. Actually, I'll probably leave it. I'll go with a style, maybe. This might be a good one. It's pretty good. So I'm going to leave it at that. Actually, let me get rid of the drop shadow. We don't want a drop shadow. There we go. What else can we edit here? I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And then what you can do is actually, we can mess around. We can do something in the background so it's not flat either. We can put a style on that if we'd like. I'm gonna go with not this one. I'll go with this one, and then I'll change the gradient overlay to something like it was before. There we go. Close enough. So you can call this done, but if you want to do something like my little thank you, thanks for watching screen or whatever, my end screen, you could just go with your type tool, type whatever. Doesn't really matter, but this is the end of the tutorial. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.